Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another Pokemon Master video, and sorry this one's a bit late, because like this banner like came out last night / last reset, so it might not be night for, you know, some people, but it was night for me. But yeah, I was a bit busy, so didn't really have time to really talk about it until now, right? So let's talk a bit about it, because it's actually kind of interesting, because like if you're gonna ask me like between these two banners, right, the Select Scout for like the New Year's one. For the regular banner, like, there's not too much to talk about. I mean, you know, this is the one that you could actually, you know, pull with free gems, right? But I guess we'll talk about the regular one as well a bit later on. But yeah, like if you wanted to compare like these two, I'd say the New Year's one's probably a bit better. Even though the Holiday one does have more units, because Holiday, in comparison to like all the other seasonals, just has like one more cycle, because you know it started in 2019 of December. That's like the first seasonals, right? All that stuff. But I'd say New Year has the better quality units, because if you look at like the Holiday units, right? Like Holiday Leon's definitely still very nice, right, as an ice type damage dealer. But like outside of that, a lot of the other units are kind of niche or a bit, you know, not that great. Like for example, like Holiday Seabold, like he's a fine unit, but in a very saturated type, being water and all, right? And you know, it's hard to compete with some of the other water type the damage dealers. Obviously, again, he's not fully a damage dealer, but that is a decent amount of its kit. And you know, some other stuff like Holiday Nessa is definitely a bit niche, right? Especially since Hail teams are not great overall at the moment. I think I like Holiday Erica, which is just not that great of a support, right? If you want to, you know, in terms of like Sunbull support, she's probably somewhere at the bottom, right? Holiday Rose, I would say, is pretty below average of a Sunbull, you know, 5-star support as well, right? Like, you know, she has her upsides, but overall, you're not a great tank. Very RNG in terms of the stats that she buffs, so unreliable, all that stuff, and very limited in the comps that you run her in. Although still a support, so like supports are still good for what they are, right? Obviously, but. Again, there's probably better supports you could probably pull for. Like for example, like the two New Year supports, I'd say both are probably a bit more worth going for in comparison to Rogue Santa, right? And Rogue Santa's the best support on the Holiday banner over here. And then what's the other one? Holiday Skyla is nice, right? Especially now that you can run her with the other Skyla, the Flying Zone setting Skyla. But yeah, there's again, there's just competition there. But like for example, you could also make the argument that, oh, if you do have Annie Skyla, then why are you running Holiday Skyla anymore? You could just nuke with Annie Skyla, right? So, anyways, yeah, if you look over here at like the New Year's banner, you just have like better units, right? Overall, right? Like of all the New Year's units over here, I'd say like the weakest one is probably like Lillie Bee, and Lillie Bee's still all right, right? Still a crit buffer. Relatively rare evasion support and all that stuff, but she definitely does have gauge issues, being a 3-gauge unit support, right? But all that, but the other three are all really nice. They do have quite the upsides, right? Like for example, New Year's Lance, right? He's one of the top flying type DPS in the game, right? Like this guy, like if you go full DPS, he does need obviously more support than some of the other ones, right? But if you do give him the correct team, this guy is a better like single target damage dealer than Annie Steven, better than Singsuit Ethan Lugia, right? Like those are massive fairs. Obviously they have their other upside, you know, Annie Steven being more self-sufficient, Lugia being the AoE no split damage thing. But like if you just want like pure damage dealing, right, in a single target situation, he's better than both of them. So you know, there's that, right? So you know, again, New Year's Lance definitely has his upsides. New Year's Sabrina is really nice as well, right? I mean, you could argue she's part of one of the best comps in the game, with like Ash and Thunderbolt Red being able to also give special move up next, since none of those really need to max out any of their stats. They could do it themselves, so they just want, you know, more extra stuff, right? Which again, New Year's Sabrina could provide while also being Kanto, so you get buffs to both their master passives as well. It's really nice. But even outside of that, just a really solid, nice support. Incredibly good for Gauntlet, right? With the status shields and all that stuff. Got endurance, heals, again, special attack buffs, crit buffs, all that stuff. I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not saying this because it's Sabrina. Like, she's legitimately a good sport, right? I'd even say, like, when she first came out, a lot of people were saying, oh, come on, like, she's nice, but is she better than regular Sabrina? I'd say, and look, I like regular Sabrina better personally as a unit overall, but I'd say at this point, right, in terms of how supports have changed and how damage dealers have changed through the past year, I'd say Years Sabrina is definitely overall the better pick, right, for a lot of different situations than regular Sabrina is, right? And regular Sabrina is still a really nice support, but Years Sabrina is really good, right? And then you have Years Volkner, which is just a fantastic electric type damage dealer, with the big caveat of being probably not something you need if you do have a Thunderbolt Red and Ash, which I assume a lot of people do, because it's a banner that a lot of people pulled for. It's a big anniversary banner, right? So like these units, right, I'd say overall are a much more quality banner than the Christmas one. Like, Christmas one is more quantity. They have 6 units. This one has again only 4, but that's just a better banner, right? But that's just like between those two. Like, if you're gonna like ask me, oh, do you want to spend like pay gems on this banner or like the Pokefair Select Scout? No, definitely the Pokefair Select Scout. Like, again, this is nice, but like, Pokefair Select Scout, first of all, cost less, right? How much is like one cycle here? 3,000, 5.5, 7.5. What? That's 10k, right? Or something like that. Around 10k. So and the Pokefair Select Scout is what, 5k for a multi, and both being guaranteed. Obviously, in the Pokefair Select Scout in the middle, you also have like one of these 25% ones, but obviously 25% is not really worth gambling for. I mean, if you get it, good for you. But the Pokefair Select Scout is definitely still better, right? Definitely still better. I mean, the best, not even like the best, like the second best, unit on both those banners is probably better than the best unit on this banner, right? But if you did pull those and you are someone who again has a lot of extra money to spend on these games for some reason, I'd say this is much more worth pulling than like the holiday one. But still, again, not as worth as the Pokefair Select Scouts, and probably not as worth if you still are trying to like save gems for the upcoming Singsu Diantha, right? And yeah, whatever's coming in like part 2 of the Kalos Villain arc, right? But if you do want to go for this banner, it's probably a solid idea. I'd say of these 4, right? If you for example, if you don't have Thunderbolt Red or Ash, Years Volkner is definitely a very good pick. But if you do have them, right, that's definitely not something you really need to go for. But after that, if you really need to flying type damage, you could go for Lance. But again, there's still like the caveat of Zinnia. If you do have her power boosted from the event, she's free, and then Blue could still do some stuff, right? It's a bit harder in terms of team comp wise. Although Lance's team comp's not like great either. But if you really if you really have a need in those 2 types, I guess you could go for either Years Volkner or Lance. But again, I swear I'm not trying to do Sabrina propaganda here. But I swear to God, this is a good faith effort. All right, I would say Years Sabrina is definitely a decent pickup, right? If you are again trying to go for look, I'm not recommending pulling on this banner like overall in the first place. It's only for those who really just have the extra money and want to spend, right? Again, I'd say the new champion banners more worth pulling than this. The upcoming Singsu Diantha banner definitely more worth pulling than this as well. Even the Pokefair Select Scouts that are out. And look, if you want to save for the Kalos Villain arc part 2, I feel like that's a really good option. Well, this is just for like if you really just have that much money, extra gems to spend, then I'd say again, if you did miss out on Years Sabrina, she's definitely a really nice pickup, right? Definitely a very nice pickup. Years Lillie, again, if like these stuff, if she's your favorite, you could still go for her, right? But overall, she is a bit clunky, right? Especially being, again, a support with 3 gauge move with very, very bad base speed. I know she has like move gauge boost, but that could, you know, only get you so far, right? But yeah, I do feel like Years Sabrina is a nice pickup. Again, I'm not saying this because I really like Sabrina, which I do. Y'all know I do like her, right? But and like I mentioned, this will not be like you have to pull for it. You definitely do not. It's just for if you really just have the overflow of gems, right? For some reason, and you want to go for this one. Like for example, like this regular banner, right? If you don't have the overflow of gems, and you're wondering, oh, should I go for this regular banner to go for you know, something like Years Sabrina? I would say no. Don't do that. Don't do that, right? Unless you are sure you have enough for like Singsu Diantha later on, right? And you already got like Halem, you got Serena, and I'd still advise probably save for Cal's second half, but yeah, unless you're like in that situation and you really like one of these units, and you maybe pull on this one, but again, I don't recommend it overall. But for people who have a lot of extra money lying around and don't mind spending it, I do feel like over here, Years Sabrina is a nice pickup. Years Volkner, again, could be a good pickup if you missed out on the 2 electric type Massive Fairs from 3-year anniversary, and Lance, if you really want that as an option as well for flying. Again, he just does really good DPS. He does need a lot of support, but he can, you know, with the right team, he could output a lot of good, solid DPS, right? So anyways, alright, that's been this one, I guess. So y'all, guys, think in the comments down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, some more Poleman's content. I'll do my dailies here. I'm not gonna really pull on it personally, right? But if you are pulling on it, good luck, I guess, right? Don't really recommend it, but if you have the extra gems and you want to go for it, again, something like Years Sabrina or Volkner if you need that, or Lance could definitely be nice. So alright, have fun, folks, and I'll see you guys in the next one.